contributions of those who who have who have labored hard in Tallahassee and Leon County. This exhibition is going to be a historical exhibition that will debut on November 9th. I tell you, you guys want to come out and see. It's going to be very powerful. Beyond that, it'll travel throughout the state of Florida, speaking to the contributions of those who have labored long and hard for the fight for justice and equality here in this wonderful state. So there you have it.
Wonderful. Well, that sure sounds exciting. I can't wait to see it. Can't wait to November 9th. Well, thank you for that wonderful introduction, and we look forward to seeing you in November.
You're welcome. Thanks, Val.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So next, I would like to welcome Quincy Griffin. Quincy Griffin is the pastor and bishop-elect at Family Worship and Praise Center, and he will be the moderator for a panel that is titled The Role of Faith in Shaping the Bicentennial. Pastor, are you here?
I am. How are y'all doing?
We're doing great, sir. Absolutely. Why don't you speak to us a little bit about faith as you see it, and what you see as the importance of the religious landscape in our communities?
Yes. Again, thanks for having me on the call. And I'll share a scripture that comes to mind, and it's coming from Matthew chapter 5. And I'm going to read from verse 13. It says, "You are the salt of the earth, but if the salt have lost its savor, wherewith shall it be salted?" When I look at us being the salt of the earth, I'm thinking about the fact that salt preserves. Salt keeps things healthy. If you go to certain countries, they know how to salt their vegetables, they know how to salt their meats to preserve them.
I love that. I love that. Are you still? You broke up.
We have a very vital responsibility to be that salt and to be that light, to be that city set on a hill. And it's one thing about being a church or being a community of faith just for your specific area, but the scripture says we should be a city on a hill, meaning that the people of faith should be able to offer everything a city has, whether it's healing, whether it's some type of resource, whether it's some type of protection. That's what the church is here for. And so when you look at Tallahassee and look at the landscape of where we've come from, Trinity and United Methodist, 200 years of service to the Tallahassee community and serving and giving back and being philanthropic. When you look at even like a Bethel Baptist Church, which has so much history in the city of Tallahassee with civil rights, with fighting for the love of mankind, whether you're Black, whether you're white, it's amazing to see where the church has been and how the church has also stood up. So yes, the church is a very vital part of this landscape, and I'm excited for the Bicentennial to point out how so many churches have been an integral role to make sure Tallahassee is as strong as we say it is. Tallahassee strong. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you for joining us, sir. We appreciate that.
You're welcome.
And that got me a little fired up. So I'm ready. I can't wait now. Come on, November 9th.
Let's go.
So again, we're so honored that you're going to be the moderator for that panel. And the name of that panel, of course, is The Role of Faith in Shaping the Bicentennial. There's going to be at least 4 other houses of worship represented on the panel. And I believe we may have one of the individuals in the audience today. Is Mary Call with us today?
Yes, I'm right here.
Wonderful. Okay, Mary Call, we're so excited to have you. Would you like to just say a few words since you're going to be one of our panelists?
Sure. I'm delighted to be here, and I think you are inspiring so much with what you're doing and the way that you're doing.
Thank you, ma'am.
Very exciting to plan and listen and learn. One of the things I'm excited to participate in this panel with the other different denominations that are represented, and to listen and learn, and for the community to have the opportunity. For the community to have the opportunity to listen and learn, but also I think about the vision of those people 200 years ago that we have seen by reflection all that was done and how well it was done and how we've grown to be such a marvelous place. And the opportunity for not only their vision, but for us to build on that and our vision for the future, as well as appreciating the present. So I'm excited to be part of it and looking forward to listening to all that the others have to say. And I think it's going to be a great educational opportunity for us. Thank you for inviting me to participate.
Absolutely. We are most appreciative that you're going to be able to join us. Very excited, looking forward to your comments on November 9th. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, well, moving right along, I'd like to invite my fourth guest. I think we're at number 4 now of the day, and that is David Triana. Is David here with us? Has David arrived yet? I know he has some other activities going on as well, but just wanted to touch base. So if he's not here, we're going to go on to the next person and then let him join us later if he's able to do so. Next, I'm really excited about the next couple of ladies. Their names are Diana Whitney and Mimi Shaw. I have been communicating with them for most of the year via email, and I had the lovely opportunity last week to meet them in person at a dress rehearsal for a musical play that they have created for our local Leon County elementary schools. I just have to tell you, it was just wonderful to see. There must have been at least, I don't know, a couple hundred elementary kids in the audience that were just shouting and so excited about this play. I'll let you talk. I'll let Diane and Mimi speak to you in more greater detail. I just had to bring them on. And what I also decided is that because the musical that was at the very end of the play had all of us just kind of jumping up and down. It's a song about Tallahassee, and they created this song. I asked if they wouldn't mind joining us on November 9th to get us a little inspired. So they said yes, and couldn't be happier. So from there, I'm going to allow Mimi or Diane or whomever would like to go first. Let you go ahead and speak to us about adventures in Florida, and why it was important for you to create this phenomenal event for our young people to celebrate the bicentennial.
I'll start. This began as a show to be performed at a couple of libraries. However, it developed into a 35-minute musical for a lower and upper elementary school students. Our goal was to take the material that I had and get children engaged in the history of Florida as they watched a map, which engaged them with geography, and heard songs and saw dances, learned about the creatures that live in the various rivers and the hot spots of Florida. And the whole idea being to get them excited about Florida's history and also to have fun. But a lot of the material that we had was familiar to them. So we took them to Miami, we went to the Space Center, we went to Tampa, and wound up in Tallahassee celebrating the 200th anniversary. And I think they had a great time and learned a lot, I hope.
I'm sure they did. I know they had a good time by their faces and their yelling. I could tell they were enjoying themselves. I can only imagine what they said to their parents and their family when they went home that evening, you know, about the program. That's wonderful.
So
Mimi, did you want?
Sure. So we are very excited because in 3 days we were able to impact approximately 1,600 students.
Wow.
It was a tight schedule, and it was, well, I think we've been working on this for about 6 months, Diane. And so, you know, everybody has schedules and lives, so it was difficult to try to get everybody together, but we did. We had worked on another project where we used projections a year ago, and so we decided it was important for them to meet these characters on stage, but actually see what the characters look like in real life. And so it was really great to do that dichotomy there, to have the characters and the real people. We are huge supporters of the Foundation for Leon County Schools. Most of us are retired educators. There were 6 retired teachers working on this project, and 1 current instructor who teaches ROTC, who was an actor in the show. So for us, this was opportunity. The big word was opportunity. It presented an opportunity to work with the foundation, to entertain and educate. It was an opportunity to present the importance of the arts in a big way, because this year the arts have been extremely hamstrung. So we have to think creatively, you have to think outside the box, and how can we do things, not how we can't do things. So that was important to us. It was an opportunity to bring education and inspiration to our kids, to bring together artists, talented artists, and educators. It was important to enlist the tools of dance, music, puppetry, and projections in an extremely unique way, and to bring in guest artists to do choreography and puppetry. It was really important for these students not only to see them on a stage, but to meet them in person. So after each performance, they were able to meet the artists as they were walking back to class, to give them a hug, which was really huge, especially for Steamboat Willie, and to personalize that experience for them. Also, to reach and impact such a large number of kids. It was a lot of coordination. It was a lot of work among 16 people, but the result, as you could see, Val, was just huge. And we are very excited to be able to put this together for the Bicentennial.
Well, we're so excited that you were able to join us this year for the Bicentennial. I think there were 6 schools that were positively impacted by your presence this last week. I think you had like a whirlwind tour.
We did.
In 1 week, you just kind of went around to all 6 schools. Is that right?
We did. And 5 of them were Title I schools. So for some of these kids, they very seldom get to see an up close and personal performance, but also to institute, they just went crazy when we brought the public domain character of Steamboat Willie, which is the original Mickey Mouse. The house came down. He came down to steer the boat down the river. It was pretty amazing. Wow. But we had amazing actors and actresses, and that we just can't thank enough for their time and their interest and their talent, and particularly the BJ's Party House folks and the Foundation for Leon County Schools, and Diane Whitney, who wrote this amazing musical.
Well, thank you so very much. Now, is there anyone else here that's a part of the cast or your team?
I think, Diane, I think everybody had to work or go to school.
Yes, or go to school. Yes, we have a couple of students in there.
Okay.
There was a wide spectrum of people.
Well, we will move right along, but I want to pause for a second. And by a show of hands, just based on what you've been able to see and hear, well, you see faces, but what you've been able to hear about our program coming up in November, by a show of hands, how many of you think it's interesting, something that you might be likely to attend or want to attend at least? I see a few hands. Okay, wonderful, perfect. Okay, great.
Thanks, Ben. Love you.
So that's wonderful. Let me hold on 2 seconds here. We're going to, okay. I love the hands. Great. Well, I think now it's time that we move on. Unless David is with us, we're going to move on to the next segment of our program, and that will be a discussion of the First Florida Capitol. We have an update. On last month's call, for those of you who were here, we spoke extensively about the First Florida Capitol project. That's the replica of the first Florida cabin that was built in 1824. We spoke extensively about that. But today I wanted to make sure that I gave you an opportunity to learn a little bit about what to expect on the 9th. But we do have some additional updates for the 10th as well. Brittany Jones. Brittany, are you here? Brittany has an update if she's here. Well, if she pops in a little later, then we'll make sure to give her an opportunity to speak.
Hey, Val, I'm here.
Oh, wonderful. Great, great, Brittany. Okay. Well, Brittany is the festival director, and she's just been working, burning the candle at both ends, I believe, in making sure that the community really has an enjoyable time on the 10th of November. And so I know you probably have some updates from last month's discussion. So if you'd like to go ahead and just kind of share with us briefly and let us know why we should come.
Sure. Okay. Well, thank you so much, Val, for this opportunity. And thank you all so much for being on today. I do see some new faces on, so I'll just kind of give a quick, brief overview of what we're having at the festival. So the festival will begin at 1 p.m. It's from 1 to 5:30 p.m. And of course, it's all near the Centennial Field, surrounded around the First Florida Capitol. And the theme of the festival is walking through living history. And so the whole vision is that when you come out to the festival, you're going to be able to feel what it's like to live in Tallahassee in the 1600s, 1700s, 1800s, 1900s, 2000s, and then even 2224. So we have lots of friends that have come together to make this festival successful. We have FSU, FAMU, TCC, and even Lively on board to be a part of the festival. The FSU, FAMU, College of Engineering, they're going to play a huge role along with the Challenger Center, the Junior, Tallahassee Museum, the Riley House, Mission St. Louis. I see Mr. Ben Gunter is on. Him and I have had some wonderful conversations as we are excited to bring on Theater with a Mission. They're going to be doing some really fun things to, show what it was like to have a debate back then, even a fight back then, even the voting process. And all of those things will take place around the actual First Florida Capitol. So it's going to be a great feeling. I see my friend Bob is on, and Bob has been helping us with the whole, with the Mag Lab. So the Mag Lab will be represented. As you all know, we are the Mag Lab City. So we're going to be excited to be able to have a feature there from the Mag Lab. So it's just going to be a really good time. Also, we will be doing a historical unveiling with the Historical Society. I believe I saw them on here as well. And then we will also have the First Florida Capitol dedication as well that day. We'll also have an ice cream social, and that will be hosted or sponsored by Bluebell Ice Cream. So it's going to be a really good time for the family to come out and experience what it was like to live in Tallahassee all the way back to the 1600s.
That's a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's wonderful. Brittany, thank you so very much. We know you're working diligently and making sure that this event is phenomenal. It definitely is a once in a lifetime opportunity for us to be able to learn about our rich history and culture here during this bicentennial year. And I can't say enough about your work and thank you.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay.
I think we're waiting for a couple more people to pop on, but while we're doing that, there's a young lady in the audience I'd like to hear from because she has some information to share with us about the First Florida Capitol. I think she's like intimately involved in all aspects of making sure that the branding is done sufficiently and the marketing. So I'd like to welcome Jessie Werner. And if you would like to speak to us about what you're doing, and if you have an invitation as well to extend to us, our local community members, I'd love for you to do that at this time as well.
Absolutely. Thank you. Yes, I'm Jessie Werner. I'm with Red Hill Strategies. We are the PR firm that was hired by the Friends of the First Florida Capitol to help spread the word. So we have been engaging the media primarily to try to help the community understand that there are opportunities for build days. Those are about to come to an end. We have a build day tonight, and then we have a build day tomorrow. So those were an awesome opportunity to be involved in the project. But since that opportunity has nearly ended, we now have an opportunity to sign up as a docent. I myself learned that a docent is a greeter or a volunteer who helps talk about the exhibit itself. So we have determined that we're going to have hours staffed by docents on weekends after the ribbon cutting for the First Florida Capitol. And by the way, that ribbon cutting was rescheduled to Friday, October 4th. So after the ribbon cutting, we hope that we will have many docent volunteers. We have a goal of having 50 volunteers so that everyone kind of gets an opportunity to play their part. But right now we only have 14. So we haven't started to push yet, but we would really love for members of the community to sign up to be a greeter, a docent. We have a docent manual that teaches you all about the history. So you'll be able to educate other visitors about the exhibit. There may be other opportunities to volunteer in the future, but we haven't yet determined those. I think that this call for docents is our biggest ask right now.
Wonderful. Jesse and the other speakers who are here, if you could please put your name and maybe email address or some type of contact information in the chat. So if someone would like to reach you with any questions or comments based on what you've said today and they don't have an opportunity to do so during the limited time, that would be wonderful if you can just put your information in the chat. Great, thank you. Yeah, name and email address, that's great. Great. Okay, we are going to be hearing from a couple of more people. I don't think Antoine has joined us yet. Antoine, are you here? Okay, I don't see him yet. I know he has another activity going on. So what I'd like to do now, while we're waiting for those people that were on the agenda, I'd like to, hello, is somebody? Okay, I'd like to open the opportunity for organizations that are hosting bicentennial events, special programs or activities during the coming up between now and December 31st. I'd like to open that opportunity for you to introduce yourself and invite us if you would like. Tell us a little bit more about your program. This is the chance now. Anyone? Anyone going once, going twice? I'm sure out of 32 people, there must be at least one here. I see Lauren.
I was going to say, Bella, I could go. I'm the CEO for the Tallahassee Ballet. Thank you, Vel, so much for everything you're doing for the Bicentennial. I know she briefly discussed this at the beginning, but we are having our evening of music and dance this coming weekend, Friday at 7:30 p.m. and Sunday at 2:30 p.m. We are celebrating the Bicentennial with this. We have local composers that all have ties to Tallahassee, like the Adderley Brothers, and just different composers. Also, our choreographers all have some sort of tie to Tallahassee. The program is a mixed rep show with lots of different styles, contemporary, neoclassical ballet. We even have a piece that's going to be almost Halloween themed. So it's going to be a really, really great and diverse show. And we're just so excited to be able to celebrate the Bicentennial. And we hope that you all can make it out for it.
Wonderful. Thank you, Lauren. If I might add, the Tallahassee Ballet had an amazing VIP reception last week that I was fortunate enough to be able to attend. They had great food and drink, and the ballet dancers were just spinning on their toes, and it made me feel so bad because I can barely walk. But it was just a wonderful community program, and I wanted to thank you again for inviting me and my Bicentennial team out. We really enjoyed it, and we're looking forward to this weekend's events. I know September 20th and the 22nd. Again, I know you said that, but we'll reinforce it to get more people to come out. The 22nd, Opperman Music Hall, I believe, Florida State University. Everyone come on and enjoy this wonderful chance to get some entertainment here in Tallahassee. So thank you. Absolutely. Kathleen, you mentioned here that you are happy to share. I see that in the chat. So we are happy to hear from you.
Hi, Val. Hello,
Hi.
everyone. It's great to be in the room. I'm Kathleen Spihar. I'm with the Council on Culture and Arts. So just very briefly, we do have a couple of things coming up on the weekend of the big event on the 9th and the 10th. So after you spend this amazing day at the Parkview, then come on over to Amicus Brewery that evening. We're working with the College of Music on Women in Tallahassee music event. So just it's in the process of being announced, but a spoiler event is that Avis Berry is going to be the headliner on it. So come here, Avis, come talk to and meet a bunch of Tallahassee artists, mainly women musicians and other artists that are going to be presenting that night. So that's going to be the evening of November 9th. After the whole bicentennial celebrations over with, we go to the Capitol, go to the City Hall, because there's going to be the model of the Capitol, which is going to be featured on November 9th and 10th. That model is going to go to City Hall, and we are going to help them, the Museum of Florida History, curate a kind of an extension of that exhibition in City Hall all the way from November 11th to the end of the year. So if you haven't gotten enough Bicentennial between now and November 10th, you can just continue that on that Bicentennial love by coming to the to City Hall. We also have a Photo Fest, which is going to be opening in October, November, and that's going to be out at the airport, and that's going to all feature Tallahassee photography and Tallahassee photographers in honor of the Bicentennial. That's also, and then we have Winterfest, which is going to be in December, featuring a lot of it's Bicentennial themed artwork by lots of over 80 artists, youth artists, and that's going to be the first week of December. So all that is going to be on the Bicentennial events page that that Val talked to you about. We also, COCA has its own Bicentennial, like a monthly newsletter that comes out, and that also features articles that we're writing about the Bicentennial. So if you are just a Bicentennial groupie, we've got you covered, okay? Between me and Val, we got you covered, and just continue to sign up for our stuff. I think I'm going to just stop right there and give other people opportunities to talk, but I'm going to throw my email in the chat. So if you wanted to connect with me individually about the Bicentennial, please do. Thanks.
Thank you. And I think you said that all in one breath. Thank you, Kathleen. I appreciate that. I understand that David is with us now. So before we go any further with other events and activities that are going on in the community, we're going to hop back over to our agenda. And I'd like to welcome David Triana. He is going to be a presenter, and also he's sponsoring a Spanish-themed luncheon on November 9th. And we're going to have some entertainment, and just, it's going to be a fun event, really, so I'll let him talk to you about it more. So David, if you're here, we welcome you, and we'd love for you to speak to us about the Spanish-themed luncheon and your presentation. David.
I'm on my headset. I hope you can hear me, understand me. Is it clear now?
We can hear you, yes.
Apologies for doing it from the car.
We're losing you a little bit.
Huh?
You're in and out, but keep going, keep going.
Yeah, it's the headset. I'm gonna go to speak.
We
A
can't.
little bit better, Val?
We lost you for a few seconds.
Yes.
I heard you just now. We can't hear you.
Participating.
We're not hearing you, David. I'm sorry.
A little bit of a freezing going on my end. Let me move around a little bit, see if I can get.
That sounds better right there, sort of.
Okay.
Right there. No.
I see the pictures are freezing.
Is anyone else hearing David? Okay, so it's not just me. I apologize, David.
That's okay.
We're not able to really hear. It's in and out a lot, so we're not hearing the substance of what you're saying to us. But
Yeah, go ahead. Keep going, Val. Keep going with your side.
okay, but what I will do, I will just share a little bit of what I know, if that's okay.
Yes.
Okay, so David is going to be bringing us 3 entertainment groups, and that I know of, maybe more. One of them is a children's nonprofit out of Quincy, and another is a very well-known soloist, Hispanic soloist, and then another group of dancers and singers that will be performing. And we're going to have a special treat of a meal that will include Spanish empanadas, beef, chicken, rice, lots of tasty desserts, pastries, and David's going to be speaking to us about the rich culture and heritage of Spanish culture. When you drive around, you can tell that there is a heavy influence of Spanish culture here in Tallahassee. Just look at the architecture and all. He's going to be speaking to us about that and other things that we may not know. So yeah, we'll be celebrating, we'll be eating good food, and we'll be learning a lot about the Hispanic community here in Tallahassee-Leon County and how things have changed over the last 200 years. And learning about the strong influence and the shared history that we have. Is that about right, David?
You got it. Great job.
Okay. Now I can see you and hear you.
Oh, wonderful. Well, yeah, first of all, I want to thank you, Val, because we were looking forward to being a part of the Bicentennial. We've worked in Tallahassee in several historical type of activities in the past with Ben, and it was great to hear that we could take part in one of the specific events with Conexión Media Group. Love to be there. Love to be there. Looking forward to it.
Absolutely. We're looking forward to it as well. Our taste buds are looking forward to it. So thank you for joining us. We appreciate that. And we're looking forward to seeing you really soon.
Thank you.
Okay. Is Antoine on the call with us today? Antoine is the Director of Habitat for Humanity. And I know he had something else scheduled, but he was going to try to join us if possible, and he still may. But he's basically at the helm of our, did someone say, is he here? Is Antoine? Okay. He's at the helm of our First Florida Capital Project, the cabin bill. And he still has a few minutes, so he may still join us. But what we'll do is we'll resume our Q&A portion of the program. So if there's anyone else who's hosting a program, an event, an activity related to the Bicentennial, this is your opportunity to share with us. Anyone else?
Val, hey, this is Shauna Smith. I was finally able to get on, and sorry guys, I'm having the same technical issues I guess that David was having. So hopefully you can hear me.
Yes, ma'am, we can hear you.
Okay, well, I'm kind of I'm a behind the scenes newbie, been very involved and staying connected with Val throughout the year. And I'm kind of coming late to the ball to try to see what might happen. One of the projects I have taken on is I am trying to locate and commemorate all of the babies who were born in the FAMU hospital. I don't know how many of you know about it. So I'm coming to you guys. Val and I have talked over the course of
That's amazing.
this bicentennial year. It's become a labor of love, which I'm trying to do by myself. But one of the things I'm trying to do to at least get a kickstart and hopefully something in this bicentennial year. I know we're running out of year. The hospital was only open for about 10 years. The hospital on FAMU's campus where the building still is currently, I don't want to take too much time, but FAMU had the first accredited nursing school in the state of Florida. The building itself is still here. It's now the administration building. But as I'm one of the older babies, I just turned 70 this year. I wanted to have Okay, thank you, thank you.
Don't look at now.
I wanted to see how we could commemorate our unique places in this town's history, being born on the campus of a historically Black university. And before, I think the youngest baby right now is probably about 50-ish. So if we don't capture this, my goal would be ultimately have some kind of commemorative marker on the campus of the university near the hospital. However, one of the things I've been struggling and trying to get together is some kind of at least a reception launch of the concept idea. So if anybody has any ideas or thoughts about how it could, I know it won't be in its completion. We won't get a monument or anything up probably within this calendar year, but I at least wanted to, and have talked to Val, and I've been in touch with, there's FAMU personnel whom I think is a part of the committee. So they're well aware I'm trying to do this as well, but at least some kind of launch reception. So if anybody on here has a suggestion, an idea, hey, Shauna, why don't you do this? Maybe Coca could host a space or somewhere where we could maybe at least get a launch to kind of get this out to a broader audience. Right now, I've primarily been using Facebook. That's because I'm familiar with it, and I'm finding that a lot of the older babies don't do Facebook, so that's been a challenge. I do have a website now, and so if anybody on here has thoughts, suggestions, where we could at least try to get some kind of public reception launch, invite as many babies who can kind of idea. So I'm open for suggestions, and Val, thank you for allowing me this opportunity.
Absolutely, my pleasure. Okay, does anyone have any feedback regarding? Go ahead. Heidi, I saw you clapping, but did you have a comment, Heidi?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
We have a couple.
Oh, okay.
Okay, Val, first of all, thank you for anybody who offers, and Val, this is being recorded because I am sitting in my car, just managed to find a pen. So if anything you've got, please put it in the chat. So go ahead, I'm listening, and thank you for any ideas and suggestions.
Shauna, that sounds like a great project. I'm so glad you're doing it. And we'll keep our feelers out and let you know what we come up with in terms of people who were born there. I'm so glad to get in touch with some people who were born in Tallahassee.
Yes. Look, I just left a doctor's appointment and he goes, "Oh gosh, you were really born here and you're still here?" Like that's like an affliction or something, So we're rare birds around this town. But and I'm not sure. Tell me your name.
Ben
So my name is Ben Gunter, and Heidi Coddington is in our screen as well.
Okay. Okay.
And we work with Theater with a Mission, and we
Yes,
dramatize.
so I know Donna very well.
Yes, good.
Donna and I, yes, have partnered with Indaba. So thank you for that. If you'll put your chat, your name, everything in the chat, I appreciate that. And thank you for caring enough to support me to kind of continue to try to do this in whatever capacity I can make that honoring of our unique places in history in this town. And if anybody else has any suggestions, or you've got a space in mind that we might be able to host a reception, the TV stations have reached out to me, but I didn't want to get too big with it before I had confirmation about place, time. I don't want to get it out there too big and it fizzle out and not come through fruition.
Hey, Shauna, this is Kathleen with Coca.
Yeah,
hey there, how big of a space do you need?
Kathleen, I'm being honest with you, I don't really know. There are quite a few who are still local, and depending on how we, put it out, we may have a few who come in for the reception. I'm thinking probably, maybe a 50 to 100, maybe, and that would be kind of a come in, have a brief little program, kind of get more contact information, kind of seek, maybe, yeah, I'm not sure, Kathleen, but that 50 to 100, I think might be a ambitious number who may be able to attend. And that might include a couple of FAMU personnel, a couple of you guys from the group here. So what are your thoughts, Kathleen?
Well, I'm thinking that because it's connected with FAMU, it would make a lot of sense to try to find a space either on FAMU campus or on the south side. So I'm happy to work with you on those things. And COCA does have a space. We co-work with Domi Station, but it's pretty small. I mean,
Right,
thinking,
right.
50 to 100 people is probably going to be a lot unless people are just going to come and go. But
Right.
yeah, I'm happy to speak with you about that. And if there's anyone on this
Okay.
call that's with FAMU, we could help out with maybe with the space, but then if you're looking for someone to sponsor a reception, if there's anyone on the call that would have connections that Shauna could connect, that would help out with that piece of it, I think that would be very welcome.
Thank you, Kathleen, for that support. I believe one of the faculty is Dr. Friday Stroud. I think she's a part of the Bicentennial. Am I correct, Val?
Yeah, she's on our steering committee. She's
Okay, and I have been in touch with her. Obviously, a lot of transitional things would kind of have been happening at FAMU. So, I kind of had to take a pause while everything kind of, the dust settled and we got leadership, back in place of how to proceed. But I'm definitely looking at trying to do something on campus if at all possible. But I would welcome, even if we can't get the opening reception, I'm also going to talk to Dr. Celeste Brickler, who has her space down there, her art gallery, right down there on the edge, right across the street from the campus. So I have been in touch with her. Again, a relatively small space, but it may be what we need to do to just kind of get the ball rolling, in a more public format.
Sounds great. Shauna, you do have some comments that have been forwarded to your attention in the chat. I know you're driving, so you're unable to read them, but I'll just see if I can quickly. Doug Alderson is saying, hi, Shauna, that he can post something on the Rickards High School 50th reunion Facebook page if you would like for him to do that. He says that he's sure that many of the graduates were born at the FAMU hospital.
Thank you. Most of it's been word of mouth. What else do you have, Bill? What's going on? What we got?
Also, Claude Kennison.
I'm like, bring it. I'm like loving it.
We're going to take the show on the road. What else do I have here? Approach the newspapers to let them know of the project to make the list of the babies born at the FAMU hospital. Maybe persons born there will respond. That's from Claude Kennison.
Okay.
That's all I see right now. I don't know if someone wants to verbally mention any suggestions. Gloria Jefferson Anderson. Yes, I don't know who that was. I see Gloria's hand though.
It was Bob Knight. I just have a question for theater. Have you organized a schedule of your performances this fall? I know you have something big on Thanksgiving weekend at Goodwood. Is there a schedule yet of all your performances?
We have actually moved the Thanksgiving event to a really great weekend of December 27 through 29, where nothing is happening. And we on to the Bicentennial Birthday Bash, which will still be at Goodwood. It will be full of games and theater and Bicentennial dance event. So please, we will get a lot of information out. We don't have it yet, but we will certainly publicize it and we invite everyone.
Yeah, thank you for asking about that, Bob, because yes, we had been planning to be at Goodwood in November, but we're going to be at Goodwood in December. We're delighted about that because December the 29th, 2024 is the official 200th birthday of Leon County's incorporation. So the Bicentennial Birthday Bash on December 27, 28, and 29 includes the official birthday for Leon County. So we will be having Native Americans reenact the stickball game that welcomed commissioners to Tallahassee town in 1823. We'll be having a recreation of a territorial ball, the kind of social event that made Tallahassee famous.
Which we expect you all to dress up and come to.
There'll be opportunities for pony rides and carriage rides, storytelling.
Theater.
Yeah, lots and lots of theater. And because this is going to be happening at Christmas time, it gives us a
Everyone, you could mute your phone, please.
It because it's happening at Christmas time, right between Christmas and New Year's, it gives us a chance to tap into Tallahassee's claim to fame as the place where the first Christmas celebrations in North America were held. So we'll be able to tap into Native and Spanish as well as territorial histories, so people can have hands-on experience with Florida 200 years ago.
That's helpful. Thank you, Ben.
Thank you,
Thank
Ben.
you.
That's exciting. Our bicentennial birthday bash will be ending the new year, ending the year right, I guess.
That's right.
Our last activity of the year will be a New Year's Eve event. So we'll be ending the year as we brought it in with a New Year's Eve activity, fireworks and all. And I don't want to overlook Gloria. She still has her hand up.
Yes, can you hear me?
I can hear you very well, ma'am.
Okay, yes, thank you very much. I just wanted to make note of the fact that I don't know if St. Michael's All Angels Church has anything planned during the bicentennial year, but I do have a flyer, and I don't have it with me right now, where they actually had a big celebration in November, the third weekend in November 1924. So I thought it was very, very important that I don't know if anyone has contacted the church, but they're the ones who played a major part in 1924 there. So at St. Michael's on Jennings Street, I believe.
Okay.
Yes. And I'll send you a copy of a flyer.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Okay. Also, I am a descendant, and I do work with descendants of Leon County, Tallahassee, Florida. Our people have been here since the beginning in 2024, maybe, all the way up until, well, of course, we're still here. So we are organizing a group of descendants because many of our people, many of the descendants were also coming out of slavery during Reconstruction, part of the Tallahassee Continental Committee. I come from the Ramsey family. And there are many families, the Stokes family, the Hill family. I've talked with a few people who are very much interested in having their families recognized. And it's just a work in progress. But I also come from the Jefferson family. My ancestors come from Virginia, and they did come from Thomas Jefferson's Poplar Forest plantation in 1828 when his grandson came to Florida, Francis F. Not a lot of people know that, but I have researched my family's history back, which I'm so happy I did. And we are documenting some things so that during this bicentennial year, we'll be able to have it in the records that a president does have descendants right here in Tallahassee. Slave descendants, that is. So it's very, very important that we understand that. Recognize that. But I do think that St. Michael's needs to be contacted and asked, just let them know that they were there. Because see, you have people now who are not from Tallahassee who don't know the history of Tallahassee, and especially the rural history. But St. Michael's was the church. So if we can get with that, the minister that's in charge of that church and share things with him about that church and the history, going back to 100 years ago, then that needs to happen. But also, I have taken it upon myself to contact some of the Black churches in Tallahassee who still don't know 100 years ago their history. They know the church history, but they don't know. So if a flyer can go out to all of these Black churches in the city and in the country too, that would help in many times, in much of the public relations and getting people to understand. Because the people, who were here, there only one or two are here who was born during that period. So, but most of the people who would have the story, they're not here anymore. But the stories must be told. But they have descendants here who don't mind telling the story. So I just wanted to make that point. That's all. Thank you,
Gloria. Gloria, could you make sure you put your information in the chat for anyone that may want to continue the conversation with you?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, I will.
We appreciate that. Well, we are nearing the end of our program. As I said, I don't want to impede on your lunch hour too much. Is there anyone that I overlooked, inadvertently, of course, but is there anyone that needs to say something about the Bicentennial event November 9th, or anything that's coming up that you need to speak? Is there anyone here? If so, go ahead. I may not see you on the screen, but if there's something you need to say, then you just feel free to go ahead right now.
This is Shauna again. I don't have my hand up. I'm barely trying to not get killed out here. I'm not driving. I did pull over. But I did want to mention, and this may extend beyond the Bicentennial stuff right now, but coming up next year is a very momentous year for the city of Tallahassee as we commemorate the anniversary of the Tallahassee bus boycott. So keep your eyes and ears open. I'm not necessarily that person, but I probably will be engaged, and I don't mind being, the contact person, but there is a plan to try to commemorate the historic happenings, 60 plus years ago in Tallahassee that spurred the civil rights movement here in Tallahassee, and in turn at other cities, and primarily led by the students who initiated and said they were not going to go to the back of the bus. But next year is a very historic year as we commemorate our place, Tallahassee's place, and our students in spurring the civil rights movement.
Okay. Thank you. Great, thank you. And we see your email address in the chat. So if anyone has an interest in that, please go ahead and copy it down. Shauna.
And I also did put the link to the FAMU Hospital Babies Facebook page in the chat, so you can go.
Okay.
You can invite, or so
in the chat?
Thank you.
Okay.
Yes.
Wonderful. Okay. Well, that's going to do it for this time around, for this month. I'd like to thank each of you for joining us on your lunch hour. I appreciate your time and your dedication to making sure we have a hugely successful bicentennial year. So far, it's been fabulous. And if you need to reach me, my information is in the chat as well. Val Johnson, I'm at Visit Tallahassee. And it's johnsonv@leoncountyfl.gov if you need to reach me. And so for now, we're going to sign off. But before we do, the next meeting will be the third Tuesday in October, and that's October 15th. So make sure you put it on your calendar. And bye-bye for now.
Bye.
See you later. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a good evening.